All right. Morning, thank you for joining. Let's stand up. We're starting with the Pilates roll down and roll up, and then I'll talk you through what we're doing today. So let's stand with the feet hip distance apart, drop the chin to the chest, and we're rolling down through the spine. I encourage you to close your eyes here, just going right inside the body. Feeling any release along the spine, or just being curious about the body, what sensations come up as we roll down. Let the head hang heavily, no forcing, and as soon as you come to the ragdoll fold, we're rebuilding the spine again. So we're coming up and down, flexion, extension of the spine. But the difference this time when we come up to standing, I'm going to get you to follow through, lifting the arms, lift overhead, hold the head in the hands and lean back for a spine extension. Chest, the heart space lifting up to the ceiling, release, and off we go again. So we're mobilizing through the body, but the idea of today will be a little bit about going for dynamic movement and then moving into static poses. So this is about warming up the body, preparing the body, and instead of maybe settling in a position which isn't quite right for the body, maybe the position of the foot, the way we're engaging the muscles isn't quite right. What I quite like about this movement through the body, we're preparing the body, we're getting that awareness through the muscles that we're going to need for these movements before we just hold a forward fold. So one more coming up to standing, rolling the shoulders back and down into that spine extension, upper back bend. And then this time we're coming into a forward fold and holding. So a little bit more of an energetic holding the backs of the legs wherever the hands fall, closing the eyes, and we're going for 3 breaths in and out of the nose. So let the upper body just hang, legs are straight, and deep breaths in and out of the nose. And each breath, just find a little bit of softening. We're not forcing deeper into our forward fold, it will just come naturally. Remember, we take the 3 breaths so we can override that stretch reflex. And by taking that flexion extension of the spine, there are no surprises, no jerks, no injuries should result from this. And we're rolling up through the spine, softening the knees, rebuild. And at the very top, we'll roll the shoulders back and down. Same principle for lateral extension of the spine. So feet wide, shoulders back and down, hands on the outsides of the legs, and we'll take a continuous movement. So as you breathe out, we take a side bend, engage, breathe in, lift, and breathe out to the other side. So keep going. So here, we can think about this as how the mind has almost two parts. We can think about the amygdala side, that fight, flight, deep emotions side, where we can maybe associate that stretch reflex, everything tensing just in case that we're going to cause an injury. And then that more thinking, relaxed state, where we can move more mindfully and without the stress in the body. So we can think about this as we're easing ourselves past that stretch, reflex, tension in the body, and we'll get a better result as we work more mindfully. So the next time we come over to the right, let's all pause there, and we can go as deeply into this side bend. Now we've prepared the body as you like. So here I would encourage you to let the head hang, so we add on a neck release. And we're just softening down. You can support the body here with a hand on the hip, hand on the leg, or you can make it a more dynamic side bend, arm overhead. But it's the same 3 breaths. See if you can tilt the pelvis under. Keep the stretch in the side of the body. 3 full breaths. So you'll find you get a little bit more result, going a little bit deeper in, because we've warmed up the body, the brain, the mind is expecting this side bend to come out and onto the other side. Lower that top arm, rebuild, and let's go direct to the other side. Nice and gently, let the head hang, neck release, chest open wide, and options to take the top arm up and over the ear. So the other thing I like about taking these dynamic stretches into a held stretch is you can adjust the position of the body. So we'll feel this more when we take an extended side bend side to side. So softening the head, let the head dangle, breathe in, chest open wide, and then to come out, release the arm overhead and back up to standing. So an example of what I was talking about here is the legs are open wide and we take this bend side to side. We're stretching the inner thighs in preparation. We're bending the knees, but we can change the angle of the foot so that the knee tracks over the toes. So we're getting the body ready. Now we're leaving one foot on the floor, toes forwards, and we take an extended side angle, change the feet to extended side angle. So we're not over-pressuring the body, we're not loading the joints for a long period of time. We're making those adjustments in the feet to find where we can get a nice smooth path, nice quality mindful repetition, side to side. Let's go once more in this flow side to side, and then the next time we come to the right, we will pause. Nice, big, open chest, wide wingspan. Keep adjusting the angle of the feet so the knee's comfortable. I added on an extra round, didn't I? Over to the right toes are to the right wall, and we pause. You can support yourself with the forearm on the thigh. Otherwise, as with this lateral extension, we're just taking that a little bit deeper now, holding extended side angle. Any tension in your neck, let it dangle like they do in forest yoga. You know, we don't need to hold tension in the neck. We can use this as a neck release. Squeeze the glutes. On third breath, at the end of the exhalation, we'll lift the top arm and come up over to the other side. Left toes to the left wall. And take that extended side angle. Let the head go, or look up at the ceiling. But we're getting an inner thigh stretch here, knee tracking over the toes, and deepening that stretch down the side of the body. 3 breaths. So you should feel a little bit of softening as you take each exhalation. So we've got some back to the spine to release out. Let's just take a hip circle. And then before we do one more in this wide leg position, we'll take the legs together just to give the hips a little bit of a rest. Both directions with those hip circles, and then we're coming hip distance apart with the feet. All right, the next little flow into a held Utkatasana chair, feet hip distance apart. We're going to come down into a fold, fingertips either side of the feet, palms facing. And if your fingertips on the floor, you can start to bend the elbows out to the side walls. Look at the knees, and as you bend the knees, make sure they're tracking over the toes, and we lift the arms either side of the ears and engage. Close the ribs, and then as you breathe out, fold, bow the head. So we breathe in to lift. As we come into this chair, we're flowing with the breath. Breathing out, weight into the heels, no pressuring the knees. The hamstring stretch in the fold. Nice position of the knees, work the glutes, pull in the core in that lifted position. Carry on, nice mindful slow movement with the breath. Forward fold into your chair. One more, and then we'll hold the chair. So straighten the legs into the fold. Here, shake out the legs, the arms if you feel you need to release. And then, nice, lift the toes, spread the toes, press into the feet. Weight comes into the heels. You can still see your toes as you hold this chair. Shoulders back, down. Breathing deeply. You take it a little bit lower. So we're taking 3 breaths here. Maybe each exhalation will feel that control. And we can maybe take it a little bit deeper. Working deep into your glutes, your quads. Amazing. Going right to the end of the exhalation, so we'll work those abdominals to draw the ribs together. And then release out. Just kick, reverse kick. And we'll take the legs wide again. So a twist for the spine. Taking the legs wide, we'll keep the legs straight for this one, but not locked. So a slight softening in the knees. I'm going to get you to come into a fold, and we're cradling. We're going to get you to take a sway gently initially. Maybe you start to lift the top arm, but keep that nice softness, otherwise in the shoulders. Keep your chest low. So starting to feel more of a swiveling movement, going a little bit deeper into the twist. Just the last couple, and then we're going to hold that twist. So the next time your left hand comes across to your right ankle, pause there, turn, twist, lift your top arm. Now your choice whether you look up at your lifted hand and continue to work on that spiraling, turning your navel up to the ceiling, ribs, opening the shoulders, or if you let the head hang. So let's not find release in the body at the expense of adding tension in the neck. So keeping the neck in a position where you feel supported. 3 breaths. Slowly release down. Place the hands across to your other leg. Shoulders down. Turn from the navel, the ribs, and open the shoulders, and last of all, lift the hand. Breathing deeply. We have 3 breaths here. Each out breath, not forcing, just feeling a little bit more release in the spine to swivel. Breathe deeply, breathe right to the end of the exhalation. And at the end of the 3rd breath, slowly lower the hand, toe and heel the feet in, and let's roll up through the spine with soft knees. Well done. Roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to take light sun salutations. The first round we'll lead with the right leg. For warrior 1, flow and hold. The second, leading with your left leg, warrior 2, flow with a hold. So come to the front of your space. Feet hip distance apart, squeeze the glutes. Take a deep breath in, open the arms wide, look up. We can take a little bit of a back bend here because we've warmed up the spine. Swan dive, the arms down, find the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need to, chest and thigh come together. Straighten the legs, fingertips to the floor or onto the shins, and look forwards, lengthening the spine. Now we're stepping your right foot back into a warrior 1. So we glide the right leg back and lower the heel. But we have a gap between the feet. The back foot is roughly at a 45-degree angle. So this allows us to keep the hips square to the front. Lift the arms, see if you can get the hands in prayer and create that arc as we breathe in and look up. As you breathe out, straighten your front leg, take the arms behind your body and bow down, nose to knee. Lift the arms behind you, try and open the shoulders. Breathe in, the knee bends forwards, deepening into the lunge. Hands reaching up and over, a controlled back bend. Think about lengthening the spine rather than stressing the lower back. The breath out, straightening and folding. Very deep hamstring stretch here. So no forcing, we just have repetition, slow controlled breath. Breathing in, feeling the openness across the chest. Breathing out into the fold. The next time we come to a warrior 1, we're going to hold it. So breathing in, sink the knee forward, but not further than the ankle. Hips stay square. Lift the hands. See if you can make moves to draw the hands together, but it's not necessary. Let's keep the shoulders down and try and feel length up the spine. Try and get some energy into the back little toe, squeeze the glutes and tilt the pelvis. So we're finding that arch, crescent shape, open chest by engaging through the legs, keeping the hips square to the front. On the end of the 3rd breath, we can release the arms, straightening the leg and coming into our fold. Maybe call the nose to knee, but there's no need to go that far. I'd like you to find length in the spine, length in the back of the leg, hips stay square to the front. If it's more supportive, you can have your fingers to the floor, back of the leg, on the hips, wherever you feel you can relax and soften and gently go deeper into that fold. Soften, you need to come out into your lunge position. We're swapping legs. So you step your right foot forwards, lower your back heel and lift up, warrior one. Hip square, front knee bent, back leg straight. If I could draw a line through, there's a gap to keep the hips square. So the knees bent and we lift up, maybe the palms come together. Maybe it's just the idea of activating those inner arm muscles. And as you breathe out, we straighten the leg and we fold. Everything square to the front. It's only a small angle in the back foot. Finding some smoothness, gliding movement with the breath. Ujjayi breath here is good. Doing well. Dynamic movements. There's no time for rest. We keep going, and the next time we come up to warrior one, we'll pause to feel the shape. So rising up, knee over the ankle, hips square. See if the hands start to come together, but it's the intention that counts. Now try, if you can, to press into the back heel and back little toe, squeeze the glutes. Breathing deeply, reaching into the fingertips. Just 3 breaths. And just being curious how it feels in the body. What happens with each breath? Or do you just feel tension? Slowly release and fold. Different challenges for different people. Some it might be take a little bit more concentration, effort to soften. But at least we're giving the body, the mind time to settle into a posture and make any adjustments that you need. Finding length in the body in this folded position. 3 breaths. If it gets too much on the knee, you can soften it a little bit. We're still trying to just find length in the back of the leg. The fingertips can be on the floor or on the hips. And at the end of the last 3rd breath, we lift. Amazing. Hands to the floor, step back. We'll complete this set by rolling up through the spine, lifting the arms, open the chest, a little bit of a back bend. Maybe look at the back wall, hands meet. And we've got the second round. This time we'll lead with your left leg, warrior 2, with a bit of a balance. Breathe in, open the chest wide, squeeze the glutes, again, hips forwards. If you're taking a back bend, really reach so the ribs are coming out of the pelvis. Use your core and come to a fold. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine. This time it's the left leg stepping back to warrior 2. So soften the knees, step back, lower the heel. It's a bigger angle in the back foot this time. Front heel in line with the back arch. Hips are more opening to the side wall and shoulders back and down. Open the arms there, shoulder height. Slight tilt in the pelvis. The flow here is straightening the front leg, lifting the arms. Hands meet, they just kiss together and then breathe out back to your warrior 2. Breathing in, see if you can watch that front right arm. If it's a bit too much of a challenging balance, just keep your eyes on something that's not moving. This is great for developing concentration, calming down the whole system. The next time we come to a warrior 2, let's pause there. So melt the shoulders back and down, maintain more of a neutral spine, knees tracking over the toes. A little bit of connection between the shoulder blades and shoulders down. Look at the middle finger of the front hand. Check your back arm is still in line. And let's feel where our center of gravity is. So I'm going to tuck this in. So toes pointing forwards. It's very easy to start leaning. Try to avoid that and think about straight line up the center of the body. Breathe in. At the end of the third breath, we're coming straight into the second side. We can cartwheel the hands down, step back to a plank and switch your other leg forward. Lower your heel at an angle and rise up. On the other side now. Shoulders back and down, knee tracking forwards, inner thigh stretch, squeeze the glutes, tilt the pelvis. Deep breath in, and as we straighten the leg, we're looking up. Breathe out. Shoulders back and down, tilt the pelvis. So this is where we can establish good patterns. Obviously we're working with balance, focus is being challenged here. But by resetting, settling into our warrior two, we're creating those good habits of keeping a long line, that vertical line. Breathing in as we look up. Breathing out, working that knee into that open hip position. Next time we come to warrior two, let's pause. Hip opening, arms open wide, squeeze the shoulder blades together and find this central vertical line from your navel up through the sternum and up through the center of the skull. Chin slightly tucked in towards the neck. Squeeze the glutes, keep it working. The inner thigh, gripping the floor, strong, active legs. Amazing. And cartwheel the hands down. Step to the front, hug the knees, wrap your forearms at the back of the knees. Shake out the head, release any tension from the spine. Release the arms and roll up through the spine. Great. At the top, roll the shoulders back and down. We've got one more thing in a standing position with a twist and a balance. So let's start with feet hip distance apart. Anjali Mudra, pair hands in prayer. Now, if we swivel the hands, so the palms are against each other, and then draw apart and link the fingers, we're in that Ganesh Mudra here. So hands were flat into a grasp, and we're going to hold that, doesn't matter which arm's on top. We're going to take a little bit of a twist, so twist right, and then left, and then lift your left knee to meet the elbow. So it's a twist, twist, other knee. Breathe in, twist, as you breathe out. Yeah, some coordination required here. Don't overthink it. Elbow to opposite knee. Breathe in, other knee lifts. So of course our static posture here is going to be the balance twist. Let's have one more each side. So to come into the held balance, let's take your right knee up into a balancing stick. The left hand towards me, thumb down. Use your other hand to draw the hand around so you've got that leverage to take a twist. Your knee hips square to the front. And if you can, you take your gaze over to the side wall as well, so it's on top of the hands. Breathe in deeply into twist, shoulders back and down. Feel the imprint of the leg you're standing on. Length through the spine and release. Other side, change the cross in your hands, come to a balancing stick. Breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, start to swivel. Don't worry if you need to tap your toe down and reset. So the last little bit before we come down to the mat, just finding a little bit of stillness and pulling in the core. Haven't you done well? Release out the hands. We're coming down to the mat. Okay, let's have a roll down through the spine, have a little shake out. We've got one round of cat-cow, and then I'm taking you into a teaser. So shoulders over the wrists. Breathe in as you look up. Claw the heels of the hands in towards the knees. And breath out, chin to chest, push the floor away. Point the toes. You can find some release in the tops of the feet here. Last time, breathing in to cow and breathing out to arching cat. We're coming onto our bottoms, knees bent, feet flat to the floor. So just over. And again, I've left my big fluffy socks on. Sorry. All right, we're taking the hands in steeple top hands, so the index fingers up to the ceiling, shoulders back and down. Now breathe in as you lean back, core strong. Breathe out and reach to one side. Breathe in as you extend back, but keep wide open across the chest. Breathe out, center. And then we breathe in, then we go to the other side. So we keep changing the direction. So this is our modified Russian twist. So keep going, your pace. Now, option to add an extension of the legs and the knees in. So it's a breath in to extend away, the breath out into whichever of the three phases of that crunch you're in. So at any point, if you feel you want to rest the feet on the floor, we're working the core muscles perfectly well with the feet on the floor. So you can have that option there for you at any point. Rather than stopping, we can slow it down, we can make it less intense, make the movement smaller. But for the last couple of sets, can we slow this down and go to the end of the exhalation? So that means maybe pausing here for a moment, close the front ribs, tummy bottom back to the spine, lengthen the spine, shoulders down, and then breathe in. Breathing out. So this is all part of that calming down. It may not feel calming, but coming into that rest phase of lengthening the exhalation, fully emptying the lungs. Home stretch. And also by going right to the end of that exhalation, you can really work into your obliques in those side bends. Last set. So don't worry which phase you're at, we'll all be out of sync, but even yourself out. So we've done left and right. I've just got once more in the center and then over to the right. And then we'll take a full body stretch. You've done really well. We're just taking a pigeon, a restorative pigeon, after we take a seated twist. Well done. So take a full body stretch, release out those abdominal muscles, arms overhead, stretch through the legs. And then let's come up to our seated twist. So let's have the right leg straight, left foot on the outside of the knee. I'm mirroring you. And let's hook the elbow around the knee. Lengthen through the spine as you breathe out. Start to swivel, twist around and look over your shoulder. So the breath in, try and fill the belly. Try and feel the belly pressing into the thigh. Lengthening through the spine like you're blowing up a balloon. It's increasing the space that we're occupying up the spine. And the breath out, stay tall, long through the spine, the neck. Just take that swiveling along that central axis a little bit deeper. At the end of that third breath, slowly release and we switch legs. Straighten your left leg, right foot on the outside of the knee. And turn the belly, turn the chest, hook the knee around the knee and lengthen through the spine. Using the out breath, see if you can keep both sit bones on the floor. And start to go into the breath. Swiveling so the navel's turning to the back wall, the ribs, the back shoulder, the chin, the eyeballs. Can you just let them disappear on the sides of your head? Now back to that breath. It's 3 deep breaths in and out of the nose, feeling length. As you breathe in, press the sit bones into the floor. It's like that roots to rise idea, pressing down to then rise up through the crown of the head. And deepen without force, just the repetition And breath, taking a little bit further round. At the end of the third breath, we slowly release. We've just got a quick pigeon. Let's swivel around onto a shin and extend your other leg behind you. Doesn't matter which. There's going to be no vinyasa, no flow to this. We're just stretching out the hips, and you can have your hands on the floor or onto the forearms or forehead to the floor. So find your level. So instead of using the pigeon as a back bend, we're using it as to close your class in that restorative forward fold. I'm just sitting up so I can look at you. So we've got the external rotators with this, whichever knee you've got in front. We're relaxing into them. It's nice to sway side to ease the hips down. And just by taking those 3 deep breaths and concentrating on that inhalation through the body and finding some softening, close your eyes, try and go inside the body and notice, again, just be curious, notice what sensations come up as you take that fold. At the end of the next exhalation, slowly lifting the head so you don't get dizzy. We're switching to the other side. So when you're ready, find length in your other leg. Don't force your shin to be parallel to the front edge of your mat. That can be an unnecessary strain on your knee, on your joints. We want to try and soften. We've got external rotation of the hip. Now that's what we want. We're getting a bit of a release into these hip flexors. And by softly swaying side to side, we'll find more and more easing in the hips. Got those 3 breaths. Really relish in the softening that comes with the exhalation. So you're either in an upright position, but with a soft head, down on the forearms, or the forehead can come down to the floor. Gently swaying. And at the end of your exhalation, slowly rebuild the spine. Lift and come to a cross-legged position. There's your half an hour. I hope you're feeling well and stretched. Any questions, send me a message and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow.